Hello and welcome to the House of Vizsla, where we talk anything and everything Star Wars. Today, we are talking the entirety of Book of Boba Fett. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. I oh wow, I just forgot how to English. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Just got back from spring break, so
What did you do on spring break?
I mostly stayed home and just worked on random stuff.
I went to Salt Lake City, Utah, did some hiking. On my flight there and back, I watched the Book of Boba Fett. So, I'm thinking, do we start with the recap right away, or do we go to just our rating first? What's your thoughts?
How long is your recap?
It's a few sentences for each episode. I did not take notes though.
Well, I figure why mess with the recipe for success that we already have.
What recipe? Let's go by the flow.
I mean, we usually start with the recap and then we go into the ratings and favorite scenes.
Alright.
And the question at the end, if we have one.
Which we may. I don't know. So. It's time for the main
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
Alright, so Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, the entirety. It was created by Jon Favreau, written by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni. The episodes were directed by Robert Rodriguez, Dave Filoni, Steph Green, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Kevin Tranchant. And the executive producer / showrunner was Robert Rodriguez, who introduced us to Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 2. Starring Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett, Fennec Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shan, and then Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin, because he had to make an appearance somehow.
Which is why this gets counted in under our umbrella of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. So we start off with
What was that?
Me hitting the AC unit directly behind me in real life to make it stop making sounds. So we start off with episode 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. This episode, we kind of see the events of Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc post, Return of the Jedi, him being captured and forced into slavery by Tusken raiders, and then it jumps to the present time with Boba and Fennec Shan's attempt to take control of Jabba's old territory on Tatooine. We see at the end of Mandalorian Season 2, with the post-credit scene, Fennec Shan and Boba Fett taking the throne from Bib Fortuna. And then on the way back, walking through the streets, assassins attack Boba and Fennec in the streets, hinting to other crime families, challenging his rule in the land. Then we go to episode 2, The Tribes of Tatooine. This one is where Boba Fett owns the respect of the Tusken tribes, helping them defeat the desert monster, which is like a 3-armed 3 pounds of arms / leg crocodile centaur kind of beast. He trains with them and learns their culture, and then eventually is accepted as one of them. Boba steals some speeder bikes from a gang and teaches the Tuskens to ride them, and he says it's like a bantha.
Going back a moment, the creature is simply known as the Sand Beast.
And then in the present timeline, the powerful Hutt twins arrive, claiming Jabba's territory, and they bring a deadly Wookiee gladiator, Black Christensen.
He was actually first introduced in comic books, and I forget if they were before or after the canon switch. But he was then introduced again in the Clone Wars, I believe.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then also the Hutt twins made an appearance in the Mando and Grogu trailer that was released a couple weeks ago. And then we have episode 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. Boba eliminates a rival biker gang threatening the Tusken's territory. Later, he returns to find his Tusken tribes massacred by the same biker clan. In present day, Boba recruits some cyber-modified street gang in Mos Espa to help them, and then the mayor avoids Boba and secretly works with the Pike Syndicate. The Hutts suddenly withdraw their claim, leaving the Pike Syndicate as the real threat.
I feel like the Pikes have shown up multiple times between like Clone Wars and then Solo. Yep, that's the movie. Solo, and then this. We don't actually know much about the Pikes themselves.
Yeah, we don't know much about it, too. And then also, I think in Streets of Mos Espa, or the previous episode, we do get a flashback of him building his gaffy stick, too. And then episode 4 is The Gathering Storm. In a flashback, it shows Boba rescuing the wounded Fennec Shan, saving her with a cybernetic upgrade. The two become partners and decide to reclaim Boba's armor from Cobb Vanth, which ties them in to the Mandalorian. After raiding Jabba's palace controlled by Bib Fortuna to reclaim Slave One, which is Boba Fett's ship.
And yes, we will use the proper name. I'm looking at you, Lego.
Then, in the present time, Boba gathers a alliance with gather allies for the coming war with the Pike Syndicate, and the city crimes families agree to stay neutral for now, as well as Black Christensen is now working for Boba, and he also gets a rancor that he is learning to ride. from the huts, which was in episode 3. Episode 5, The Return of the Mandalorian.
Well, like Quill said, he's a Mandalorian. His ancestors once rode the mythosaur. And in fact, if you go back to, I think it's like the holiday special or something, Boba Fett actually makes an appearance with the original version of Mando's disintegrator rifle. And he's riding a beast known as the mythosaur. Of course, when they changed to Disney canon, I don't think that held as canon.
Yeah. I think they would rather go by the Lego holiday special, which isn't canon, but is pretty cool. Check out the Sith Dominion's podcast episode about it. Definitely worth a watch. Episode 6 is episode 5, Return of the Mandalorian. This is a completely different episode where Boba Fett is not the main character. Now, we go to Mandalorian Season 2.5. It's all about Din. He goes back to doing some bounty hunting, and he has no clue what he's doing, as he gave up the shot of being the father figure of Grogu when Luke took him in to train him. Din reunites with the Armorer and reforges the Dark Saber related conflict within Mandalore, and also he gets a gift for Grogu, a chainmail armor for him to protect him. Then
kind of reminds me of the mithril coat that the hobbits get in Lord of the Rings.
Then Din has to take public transportation to Tatooine, which sucks. He has to literally take off all his weapons. And it's like...
But he's a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of his religion.
Yeah. So, on Tatooine, he also meets up with our favorite mechanic / Tatooine port owner.
Don't forget babysitter.
Yes. Who says, I have a Razor Crest replacement, or a ship like the Razor Crest, and presents Mando with the best state-of-the-art, slightly in bad shape, Naboo Starfighter, the N1.
You know, it's only missing half of its parts.
And this is like pod racing. So they walk, they get some Jawa's help, and they basically turn this piece of junk, as one could say, into a masterpiece of a home mechanic classic car. It looks amazing by the end of the build process. Amazing, what is it called when they build it all together? Montage.
Yeah. See, I have to wonder, how many crashed N1s are there on Tatooine for the Jawas to get that many parts?
This is where you piece together parts from other ships together. It's like if you had a Corvette body, Mustang engine somewhere, different pieces, and you just mush it together. The N1.
So this is closer to like the N45.
Yeah. I don't know what that
because
is.
it's 45 different ships combined into one.
Yes.
And, they had to manufacture some of that themselves, you think?
Yeah, definitely some of the body pieces. And he also test flies it and runs into our favorite X-Wing pilot, Paulson Tava, who's like, didn't you fly a Razor Crest? Different Paulson, and spud off. And the other pilot was like,
Always helps having a trigger-happy wingman.
yeah. Havoc decided to give us a stop by. Don't know what he wants.
Whatever it is, he just stole your dry erase marker.
Maybe. I don't know. Potentially. I'll see up to it later. Then, Din Djarin is recruited by Fennec Shand to help Boba fight the Pike Syndicate. In episode 6, from the desert comes a stranger. Din Djarin visits Grogu, who is trained by none other than Luke Skywalker. And then Ahsoka. Then Ahsoka Tano appeals to give Din advice to not interrupt Grogu's training. And Din gives the gift to Ahsoka Tano, who then gives it to Luke later. And it's a great piece of book directed by Dave Filoni. And it grew on me over watching it from the first time to the second time. But then Luke gives Grogu a choice. Jedi training or return to Din. By here is Yoda's lightsaber and here's armor, but you can choose one, but we don't see his choice yet.
We can only assume what his choice is.
And on Tatooine, Din recruits the Marshal from Freetown and Freetown to help in the fight. And was like, hey, we don't even pay you guys to do this. We need your help. That's good for all Tatooine. And then a legendary bounty hunter, Cad Bane, appears, representing the Pike Syndicate, and kills the Marshal and the Deputy Marshal of Freetown.
I mean, if you know your Star Wars lore, they never stood a chance.
Yes.
He's the reason that Boba Fett has a dent in his helmet.
Good thing he has a helmet. But hey, Dave Filoni and his hats. Come on. Cad Bane.
I mean, we did see how much the helmet helped Jango.
Yeah. A good, swift hit with a lightsaber right where the helmet doesn't meet the shoulders. No more head.
Now, if that was a full medieval style, though, then he would have been fine.
Yeah. Episode 7. In the Name of Honor. War breaks out in the streets of Mos Espa as Boba's forces and the Pike Syndicate attacks. The Pike deploy powerful battle droids that overwhelm Boba and his allies. It's an attack on other sides.
They really seem like upscaled destroyer droids.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's a complete all-out problem, and it's not going well. And the other families are now on the side of the Pikes attacking. It's not good.
Crime lords not sticking to their word? Shocking, I'm sure.
So the powerful droids overwhelm Boba. Grogu returns to help Din and Boba. So what choice did he choose? We don't know. But he ends up with Grogu. Grogu ends up back on Tatooine with Din. Boba then heads off to his palace, where he rides the Rancor through the city to destroy the droids, as well as the Rancor also gets loose from Boba's control and starts terrorizing the city. And we get a great shot of Rancor and the Empire State Building.
Or is it King Kong and a tower on Tatooine?
Not sure on that. Let us know in the comment section down below. Or on our Discord.
Which you can join with the link that's going to be in the description.
Yes. We also see Grogu using the Force to tame said Rancor and make it fall asleep, and he later just crawls up next to the Rancor. This small, helpless child, wizard, green thing, the size of a small backpack next to this big, monstrous thing that Luke Skywalker destroyed with a door. Different Rancor, though. But then...
Wasn't it mentioned that Boba Fett is, like, young
Yes.
and pretty small compared to the other one?
Yes. And was basically covered with a blind. So the owner is the first thing the Rancor sees, and this becomes kind of his master type of deal. Boba is defeated by Cad Bane in a duel, but not really. It's a big thing. Gaffy stag. It's a big fight. Boba is old. Cad Bane's old. But Boba's smarter because he has learned from not just bounty hunting with the other bounty hunters, and not how to be this weapon of mass destruction, but also from the Tuskens, the way of the Tusken on Tatooine, and knows how to fight in their style. He's more of a threat than ever, and destroyed Cad Bane in shreds, and he's gone. Finally, he secures Tatooine, becoming the new Crime Lord, but chooses to rule with respect than fear, and Din and Grogu reunite, leaving together to set up the next chapter of their story. And that is done with our recap. Let's go into favorite moment, shot, favorite part of an episode, because there's a lot going on. What would it be?
Well, I would say I really like the Tusken storyline that has. I think that's one of the best parts of it. I know there are some people who absolutely hate it because of how slow it is, but that's another part of how I like it, because it is so different from everything else they've done.
Yeah, so I like the N1 creation scene. And then I also enjoy Yeah, I also enjoy everything with Boba creating the gaffy stick. Just two good monologues. So
Here's a question: did you have a least favorite scene or part?
the chase between the two, uh, between the male's assistant and the Bico gangs, the mod Bico gangs gang, English bad, uh, um, but those bikes looked hideous and just felt like a kid's fancy tricycle slash bicycle gang instead of an actual speedo bike gang, and it just didn't look good.
Yeah, going off that, I feel like the a lot of the cybernetic enhancements these people had kind of felt like you were forcing a cyberpunk type world onto Tatooine is anything but cyberpunk. It's more of like recycled old scraps into new stuff.
Yeah, so I do think that there's definitely moments um in it that is weird. So but I feel like Tatooine would be a place that you could get away with modding yourself and stuff because it feels like something to be outlawed in the galaxy. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tatooine, according to it's Mos Espa or Mos Eisley. I forget which town.
So this takes place in Mos Espa.
Mos Eisley is where old Ben Kenobi said, "You won't find place for more scum and villainy."
Isn't it? You won't find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen New Hope.
Same, but like I feel the like brighter English, the brighter type of colors that they have really don't fit in with the duller desert world.
Yeah.
Like everything we saw in Mos Eisley seemed to fit in. Like the brighter stuff was kept inside of rooms where it wouldn't be like sandblasted.
Yeah. I found two of the scenes. So I am gonna just shout them real quick. First off, we have Boba creating his stick. So let's get that pulled up. Right. That is the first clip, and it's not the whole thing, but it's like this sacred practice, and Boba Fett being an outsider, being accepted into the native tribe of Tatooine is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I remember I read the Obi-Wan book, this being the old one before the Obi-Wan series came out. And in that book, the Tuskens made up a smaller storyline as well. And it was revealed that their culture it was like taboo or a sign of disrespect or something like that to show your skin. And so like that, I always think of that whenever I see the clips of Boba wearing the hood or whatnot with them. And then I remember, oh wait, that's no longer canon. That always throws me for a loop for a little bit.
It is kind of canon, because I remember reading Phantom Menace a while back, and in it does say that, yeah, Raidos cover up their skin, and young Annie wanted to unravel it to check, see what they look like underneath. But it makes sense as nomads living in a hot desert planet that used to be covered with water and stuff, that they would cover themselves up. Yes, it is hot, but they're protected from the sun, sandstorm, sun, and it makes them cool looking.
Yeah, and I've heard people bring up, like, in our world, kind of like the Arab thing they wear on their heads. I forget the name of. And yes, that would work. But then again, that's only for a small area of our world covered in desert. This is an entire world covered in desert.
Yeah.
Not, what, 3/4 water?
So. And then I have another thing to show. This is Boba Fett's N1.
No, bigger. Smaller. No, it's the one with a hole on the end that curves this way. I think I saw it once before over there in that pile near the circulators. There you go. I always knew you were the smart one. Don't be jealous. I don't know why you're always in such a hurry. Build me a ship. Fix my blaster holes. You know, I never went anywhere. Look how good I got it. You know, I've never even been off-world. That's all right. I'm a local gal. Oh, let me see that doohickey. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Good find. What else you got in there?
The entire vapor manifold is missing.
Trust me, the last thing you want strangling your thrust capacitor is a vapor manifold. I fabricated you this induction intake charger that's going to double your output coefficient.
It'll also blow the shaft out of my motivator block.
That's why I'm reinforcing your compression housing, and you can access it by using this kinesio switch right here. You hit this button, you're going to evacuate your exhaust manifold, if you know what I mean. Come on now. All right, that's enough. All right. Power up. Got it.
Where does this panel go? Thanks, little guy.
Do you know how lucky you are that I got my hands on this baby? Do you want to thank me now or you want to thank me later?
You get me a razor crest, you can have it right back.
Oh, Bantha did all. These are a lot harder to come by than some plain old razor crest. Razor crest. So get on the groove. Slide it. There you go. Just get it right there. No, closer to me. No, over to the left. Right in the center. You're banging around in there. What's happening? Just there you go. How hard was that? Beautiful. Now beat it.
That was fast.
These critters could find a scud in a krill pond. Will that do?
Where do they get a cryogenic density combustion booster?
Do you really want to know?
Sure.
I got it. They said they crawled under a pike spice runner and crimped it off while they were refueling.
Gutsy little fellas.
Let me tell you something, pikes do not mess around. Ever since they've been moving spice through the system, everything's gone to hell. Everyone's afraid of them, and law enforcement won't even go near them.
Well, thanks.
Thanks. What? Are you kidding me? What'd you do that for? You're gonna spoil them. Are you trying to make me look bad?
It fits.
Technical difficulties. That's weird.
I think you have the wrong tabs up.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, that's the inside of behind the scenes. So that clip was basically the whole monologue. Monologue. I don't think that's right. I don't know the correct. Just
Time lapse?
time lapse. It's not like a time lapse.
Montage. Is that the word you're thinking of?
Yes, of creating, like, building this custom N1, and it was cool. So
I'll admit though, I do have a few issues with the N1 compared to the Razor Crest.
and that is
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that is the Razor Crest was built to be lived in. It was spacious, it had cargo space and all of that. The N1 is a converted fighter. There's no cargo space. There is little room for food or water. And you have to, if you're Mando, sleep sitting in the cockpit. If you're Grogu, sleep sitting in the little glass bubble.
yeah. I fly an X-wing. It's uncomfortable.
There's a reason I chose the Falcon.
Hey, you're not in the cockpit. You're outside of it. So but yeah, it's for the time it was in is it's like having a truck versus a classic car. A truck is more practical for Mando for bounty hunting and living out of, but he also just needs a cool classic vehicle because he can get around and fight a bit better. But
It's like speed versus, because like with the Razor Crest, it wasn't as fast, so they would have needed the supplies to last longer. With this one, it's faster, so they wouldn't need as many supplies.
But a Starfighter is also for short-term things, and most of the time, depending on the ship, you would dock to your main because most of the time Starfighters, unless they're out patrolling an area, they are following a ship, and they would dock during hyperspace jumps, so they can get out and go into the bigger ship. And
Unless you're the Rebel fleet attacking Endor, in which case you deploy all the hyperspace-enabled fighters first.
yes, that's for hit and run objections. But if you're just transporting from area to area, you would hop into each other because it's easier. And a lot of times, certain ships are a pain to jump if they don't have into hyperspace, if they don't have a nav computer that can be controlled by a droid. So, but I think it's time to rate this episode. What would you rate it?
What do you mean episode?
Season. Show.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 8.5. I like it as much as some of the Mandalorian episodes. It has its good parts. It has its bad parts.
Yeah, I will give this a 8. So, and that is because I enjoyed parts of it, and it has its good and its bad. In my opinion, there wasn't that much of a filler episode in it. It got to the point. I felt like more of the filler episode was the Mando arc, the Mando episode, and going to see Luke.
Yeah, that's what I would say is it might have been better if it had just solely been a Boba Fett focused one.
Yes. I also asked Fives earlier what he would rate this show, and he said a 7.5. So doing some quick math on camera is never the best thing, and that will leave us with 8 Boba helmets. I did switch it out right before the show. Because, hey, it's about Boba Fett, not Din Djarin. So I think it needed a helmet change.
Well,
Yeah, but it's OG Boba Fett's helmet. So I think that takes priority. It's from... I forget Empire Strikes Back, so. But, so, any final thoughts?
nothing I can think of right now.
So, it's time for Will of the Force, where one of us, typically me, comes up with a random, wacky question, situation, and you have just answer it. Whatever way you go, you can't change it. So if it is a turkey sandwich versus a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and you chose peanut butter jelly sandwich, you can't change it if the reasons of a turkey sandwich was better that someone else gave. So, it's time for Will of the Force.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force. And I fear nothing, for all this, as the Force wills it.
So, yes. It's not about sandwiches. It's about ships. Because you brought up earlier how the Razor Crest was a better ship versus the N1 fighter. So, if you had some credits and lived in the Star Wars galaxy and you had to buy a ship for traveling the galaxy, your daily life, avoiding the Empire, whatever odds and ends you do for a job, whatever, what ship would you buy? And it's open-ended. I don't have a list of ships to choose from. What would you choose? It can't be the same type of ship as what we see on screen. It could be, a ship similar to the Millennium Falcon, not the exact Falcon. Because you can't really buy that off of Han Solo.
You can only steal it from someone who stole 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 it from Han Solo.
Yeah. So. You forced. Do you need to do some research?
I'm currently doing some research. Yep.
And Oh, have you finished your research yet?
I do have a
Yeah.
question. Do we have a limit to the amount of credits that we have?
If you can steal it and get away from it, it can be free. So, it's open-ended.
What if you wouldn't quite be able to steal it?
If you know how many credits it would be to buy, go ahead, say it.
So no real limit.
Yes. So, I would. So, this ship is just cool. It's a frigate. It's the Pelta class frigate, done by I think it's Kuat, Drive Yard. It's about 7 million credits. It's expensive, but hey, it's an old model. So it's similar to the Phoenix home that Commander Jun Santo used in prior to the Battle of Yavin. And it had a bay for the A-wings. That's custom because hey, you have to modify it. I don't think it comes factory. And my opinion, steal it. Steal one from the Empire, because they probably have a few laying around from the Clone Wars. Because why not? And modify it to have a Starfighter bay, to have a really nice garage for my classic Starfighters. Because hey, everyone needs a garage in a house to store some vehicles. Why not have a whole starship to put said classic cars in?
True. I have mine down to 2.
First one.
First one would be the Architans class. I just like the general shape of that. Plus, you can see that it does have a, albeit weirdly placed, hanger right between the 2 front prongs.
Then
Then the other one would be a Victory 2 class Star Destroyer. It's not quite as large as the Imperial series,
but
which is what I was originally thinking, but then it's like, that might be a little too much cost maintenance.
yeah. Plus you need like a lot of slaves to help run said ship.
You mean Imperial officers, right?
Yeah, Imperial officers. As you steal said ship. I am your captain now. Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
I also feel like if I had time to actually come up and give a list, I feel like I forget what type of ship the Ghost is. That would be really cool. And
Yeah,
then
I was looking for that one too, but I could not find what it was.
but I'm like, I want to go something a bit bigger. The Ghost is cool because you have like that auxiliary title and you could change it to be whatever. I do feel like we will be seeing the N1 at least once in Mando and Grogu. We aren't gonna just get, here's the new Razor Crest. Because
I mean, we don't really know whether that's a new Razor Crest or if that's like a flashback. Because those could be flashback scenes.
yes,
Flashing back to when he had more budget for paint.
but why would Garazeb Aurelios be inside of it? And if you're Disney and you can put a new ship which is similar to an old ship, change the color, people will buy it. So
Kind of like with the regular Arquitens class and then Moff Gideon's.
yes. So, but I think this is a great place to end it for today. So, if you've made it this far in the episode, please comment in the comments what ship you would choose.
Wait, you comment in the comments? What?
Yeah, it's weird.
Shocking concept, I know.
Yes. It allows us to interact with you. But if you want to join our Discord community, link in the description, that allows you to be able to stay up to date more on what we are doing. Also, you can ask us questions and be on the show, maybe in the future as we choose what we want to do. Maybe we'll do an episode where guests of our Discord server can make it on to ask us questions for fun. I don't know. So join our Discord. You may be able to be on an episode. With that said, please make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. If you're listening on an audio feed, rate it if it has the ability to, but also come to our YouTube and subscribe there if you're listening on an audio feed only, because YouTube is where you can see the video version of this podcast. With that said, may the Force be with you.